Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jayendra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for the subject Business Economics. In this lecture, we'll begin with Chapter 4, that is price determination in different markets, and in particular, we'll continue with Unit 3, that talks about price output determination under different market forms. All the concepts will be covered in the following sessions. So let us continue. This is lecture number 4. Let us see the learning objectives first. At the end of this unit, we'll be able to understand and describe the characteristics of different market forms, namely perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly, and cite the main differences among all the market forms. We'll try to explain about the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity of output, and that are determined both in the short run as well as in the long run under different market conditions. Describe what happens in the long run in market where the firms are either incurring losses or making economic profits. We'll try to illustrate the welfare implications of each of the market forms. The price of the commodity and the quantity exchanged per time period depends on the market price as well as market supply function and the market structure. The market structure characterizes the ways the seller as well as the buyer interact to determine the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. The existence of different forms of market structure leads to differences in demand as well as revenue functions of the firms. The market structure mostly determines a firm's power to fix the price of its products. The level of profit maximizing price is generally different from different kinds of market due to the difference in the nature of competition. As such, a firm has to closely watch the nature of the market before determining its equilibrium price and output. Because what happens, suppose the firm is a perfect competition, the firm is actually a part of perfect competition or monopoly or monopolistic competition on or oligopoly, so they will behave in a very different manner. In this unit, we'll discuss the nature of these four most important markets, that is perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic and oligopoly market, and how these market structures operate and determine in short run as well as in the long run equilibrium, price as well as quantity. We shall start our analysis with perfect competition. So let us begin. What is perfect competition? So basically, perfect competition is a market where there is a large number of buyers as well as large number of sellers in the market are operating. In perfect competition, we can say that there is no individual buyer or seller will be in a position to influence the demand as well as supply in the market. Over here, the products they supply is identical to each other, which is homogeneous to each other, similar to each other in nature. Generally, goods produced by different firms are identical in nature. Let's see the text now. Suppose you go to a vegetable market, inquire about price of potatoes from a shopkeeper. He says potatoes are rupees 20 per kg. In the same way, you inquire from many shopkeepers and you get the same answer that the potato is 20 rupees per kg. What do you notice? What do you see? You notice the following facts over here. The first fact that you noticed over here is there is a large number of buyers and sellers in the market who are selling potatoes. Secondly, all the sellers are selling potatoes at 20 rupees per kg only. So the product is also homogeneous, similar, identical products, and the prices are also kind of identical. Thirdly, product homogeneity, that is all the sellers are selling almost the same quality of potatoes, in the sense that you cannot judge by seeing a potato from which farmer yield do they come from. Such types of market is known as perfectly competitive market. In general, a perfectly competitive market has the following characteristics. Number one, there are large number of buyers as well as large numbers of sellers are available in the market. The number is so large that the share of each seller in the total supply and the share of each buyer in the total demand is too small that no buyer and seller are in a position to influence either price, demand, or supply in the market. So there are large number of buyers and sellers in the market, and no buyer or no seller are in a position to either influence the demand or to influence the supply in the market. I believe we understood till here. Let us continue. The homogeneous, the products supplied by all the firms are identical to each other or homogeneous, kind of similar in all respects. So they are perfect substitutes to each other. Thus, we can say that all goods must sell at a single market price. No firm can raise the price of its product above the price charged by other firms without losing most or all the business. Buyers have no preference as between different sellers because all the sellers are kind of selling the same product. Sellers are quite indifferent because they are same as to whom they say. For example, most agricultural products, cooking gas, raw materials such as copper, iron, cotton, steel sheets are fairly homogeneous. In addition, we can say that all consumers have perfect information about the competing prices. Let's continue. Third is every firm is free to enter in the market and free to exit. So we can say that every firm is free to enter in the market and go out of the market at any point of time whenever they wish to. So there is no legal obligation or legal binding or market related barrier to entry, and also no special cost, or so it will make it difficult for a new firm to either enter an industry if it sees profit opportunity or exit if he cannot make a profit being inside as a part of business. If the product, if the above three conditions alone are fulfilled, such market is called pure competition market. Pure competition market. The essential feature of a pure competition is the absence of element of monopoly. Consequently, we can say that business combinations of monopolistic nature are not possible over here. In addition to the above stated three features of pure competition, a few more competitions, a few more conditions are attached to perfect competition. So my dear students, if we talk about pure competition has three features. Number one, there are large number of buyers and large number of sellers. Number two, the product supplied by all the firms is homogeneous product or identical product. Number three, free entry and exit from the market. Apart from these three features, there are some additional features of perfect competition. Let us see point number 4. There is perfect knowledge of the market condition on the part of buyer as well as seller. So over here in perfect competitive market, buyers and sellers both are aware. So both buyers and sellers have information in relation to the decisions to buy or sell such a quantities of stock of goods in the market, the nature of the product and the prices at which the transaction of purchase and sellers sales are being entered into. So we can say that the buyers and sellers are having detailed informations of the quantities of stock that are available in the market conditions, the price at which the transactions are taking place in the market. Let us continue to point number 5. It basically talks about the transaction cost. So perfectly competitive market have very low transaction cost Buyers and sellers do not have to spend much time and money finding each other and entering into transactions. Under perfect competition, all firms individually are price takers and they are not price makers. Not price makers. So in perfect competition, the firms are price takers, they are not price makers. The firms have to accept the price which is determined by the market forces or price mechanism. What is the market forces and price mechanism? The price is determined in the market because of demand and supply present in the market. So accept the price determined in the market forces and total demand and total supply. The assumption of the price takings applies to consumers as well. When there is a perfect knowledge and the perfect mobility, if any seller tries to raise the price in perfect competitive market above the charged by others, he will lose all its customer. Why so? Because all its customer to shift will shift to a cheaper the products the seller where the same products are available at cheaper prices. So mobility of factors is possible in case of perfect competition. While there are few examples of perfect competition which is regarded as a myth by many, the agricultural product, financial instruments, stock, bond, forex that is foreign exchange, precious metals, gold, silver, platinum approach the condition of perfect competition. The next topic is price determination under perfect competition. So basically we can say that in perfect competition, no individual buyer or sellers will be in a position to influence the demand or supply in the market. And that is why we can say that market price is uniform. All the firms are individually the price takers. They have to accept the whatever the price going on in the market. They have to accept the price determined by the market forces of demand and supply. All output whatever is there can be sold in the market at the same price only. So we can say that the elasticity of demand is infinity. Let us do one thing, just go through the text first. So equilibrium of the industry. An industry in equilibrium terminology consists of large number of independent firms. Each such unit in the industry produces a homogeneous product so that there is a competition amongst the goods produced by the different units. When the total output of the industry is equal to the total demand, we say that the industry is in equilibrium. The price then prevailing is known as the equilibrium price. A firm is said to be in equilibrium when it is maximizing its profit and has no extra incentive to expand and contract the production. Let us see this graph. Equilibrium of a competitive industry. SS is the supply curve, DD is the demand curve, E is the point of equilibrium, Q is the equilibrium quantity, P is the equilibrium price. I believe it is very simple. In price 14 basically, in figure 14, OP is the equilibrium price and OQ is the equilibrium quantity, which will be sold at that price. The equilibrium price is the price at which both the demand and supply are equal and therefore no buyer who wanted to buy at the price goes dissatisfied and none of the seller is dissatisfied that he could not be able to sell his goods at that price. It may be noticed that if the price were to be fixed at any other level, either higher or lower, demand remaining the same, there would be no equilibrium in the market. Likewise, we can say that if the quantities of the goods were greater or smaller than demand, there would not be equilibrium in the market. Equilibrium of the firm. The firm is said to be equilibrium when it maximizes its profits. The output which gives maximum profit to the firm is called equilibrium output. In the equilibrium state, the firm has no incentive either to increase or decrease the output. I think it is clear. Firms in a competitive market are price takers. This is because there is a large number of firms in the market who are producing identical or homogeneous products, such as these firms cannot influence the price in their individual capacities. They have to accept the price determined through the interaction of total demand and total supply in the commodity which they produce. See this diagram. The firm's demand curve under perfect competition is shown over here. See in this diagram, if I talk about particular this diagram, if the seller tries to increase the price above the market price, he would lose all its customers. No seller would try to sell the product below the market price, and hence we can say that there is no incentive for lowering the price. The equilibrium price is determined by the market demand and the market supply forces. Over here, the price is also known as aggregate revenue, that is AR. The price is also known as AR, average revenue, and marginal revenue of the firm. And since the price is uniform, we can say that D equal to AR equal to MR equal to P. That means what? Over here, D equal to AR equal to MR equal to P for the firm, and this is for the market. So this is the supply curve, this is the demand curve, this is the price, quantity, and price and quantity. For an individual seller, this is the price, quantity. Let us continue. In market price, OP is fixed through the interaction of total demand and total supply of the industry. Firms have to accept this price as given, and as such they are the price takers rather the price makers. They cannot increase the price above this level, which is OP, individually, because of the fear of losing all the customers to the other firms. They do not try to sell the product below OP level because they do not have any incentive for lowering it. They do not try to sell the product below OP because they do not have any incentive for lowering it. They will try to sell as much quantity they want to sell, but the price should be same, that is OP. As such, price line acts as demand curve for the firm because it is price taker. The demand curve D facing an individual competitive firm in a given horizontal line at the level of market price set by the industry. In other words, we can say that the demand curve of each firm is perfectly infinitely elastic. As I told you, the firm can sell as much or as little output as it like along the horizontal price line. Since price is given over here, a competitive firm has to adjust its output to the market price so that it earns maximum profit. Let us see a table 4 and try to understand this. In table 4, when the price is increasing from 1 to 2, the demand is decreasing but the supply is increasing. When the price shifts from 2 to 3, there is an increase in demand but there is a decrease in supply. There is a decrease in demand but there is an increase in supply. When the price shifts from 3 to 4, the demand reaches from 12 to 15, which is a decrease. Over here, there is an increase in supply from 45 to 55. And when the price increases from 4 to 5, the supply increases from 55 to 65, and there is a fall in demand from 15 to 10. Equilibrium price for the industry is determined through the interaction of demand and supply, that is 2 rupee per unit. The individual firm will accept rupee 2 per unit as the price and sell different quantities of this price. Let us consider the firm X. Firm X quantity sold the total revenue, average revenue and marginal revenue. Over here it is shown in table 5. The price is 2. Quantity sold in is 8, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The total revenue is 8 multiplied by 2, 16. 9 multiplied by 2, 18. 10 multiplied by 2, 20. 11 multiplied by 2, 22. And 12 multiplied by 2, 24. Average revenue is 2 because P equal to AR equal to MR. P equal to AR equal to MR. So it will be same. Average revenue MR equal to TRN minus TRN minus 1. So as you can see, you can calculate from the total revenue. You can calculate average revenue also. 16 by 8 is 2, 18 by 9 is 2, 20 by 10 is 2, 22 by 11 is 2, and 24 by 12 is also 2. Firm X price, the average revenue and marginal revenue is equal to 2. Thus, we can see that the perfectly competitive market, a price taking firm, average revenue, marginal revenue and price are equal. As a result, we can say that when the firm sells additional unit, its total revenue increases by the amount equal to its price, that is AR equal to MR equal to P, that is price. Conditions for equilibrium for a firm. As discussed earlier, a firm in order to attain equilibrium position has to satisfy the condition as below. First, marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost, MR equal to MC. If MR is greater than MC, there is always an incentive to the firm because the marginal revenue is more than marginal cost. So the firm is in a profitable situation. MC, there is always an incentive to the firm to expand its production further and gain by selling additional units. If MR is less than MC, that is marginal revenue is less than MC, the firm will have to reduce the output since the additional unit has more cost and add less revenue. Profits are maximum only when MR equal to MC because the demand curve facing the competitive firm is horizontal. So MR equal to P, that is price. The general rule for profit maximization can be simplified over here. A perfectly competitive firm should choose its output so that marginal cost equals price. Second, the MC curve should cut MR curve from below. That means what? The MR equal to MC, the conditions for equilibrium, conditions for equilibrium, MR equal to MC and MC should be rising, or we can say that MC cuts MR from below. Let's see this. Short run profit maximization by a competitive firm. We shall begin with the short run output decisions and then we'll move to the long run output decisions. In the short run, a firm operates with a fixed amount of capital and must choose the levels of its variable inputs so the profit maximizes. Over here, just see this diagram. On x-axis, we had plotted the quantity, that is in units. On y-axis, we had plotted the price in rupee. You can see over here in first diagram, that is figure 16, equilibrium position of firm under perfect competitive market, under perfect competition. SS is the demand curve, SS is the supply curve, DD is the demand curve. And over here, this is a firm's demand curve where this is AR equal to MR equal to P. So the equilibrium position is MR equal to MC and MC should be rising. First stage, the marginal cost is decreasing. The marginal revenue is stagnant. The marginal revenue is parallel to x-axis, it is stagnant. In the first stage, the marginal cost is declining. Marginal cost is going below the MR curve and then it is again shooting up, that is increasing. So this could not be the equilibrium. This could not be over here. This could not be the short run equilibrium. Why? At point T also, MR equal to MC, that is marginal cost equal to marginal revenue. But MC should be rising. MC should cut the MR curve from below. But over here, MC is not rising. First of all, MC is not rising at all. And we can also say that MC should cut, MC is not cutting, just write, MC is not cutting MR curve from below. That means what? Over here, MC is cutting MR curve from upside. So this could not be the equilibrium. In figure 16, DD is the demand curve, SS is the supply curve, DD is the industry demand and supply curve which represent E to set the market price, that is OP. The firm of perfectly competitive industry adopt OP price as given and considers P line as demand, that is average revenue curve, which is perfectly elastic at P. As all the units are priced at the same level, MR is a horizontal line equal to AR. You can see over here, MR is a horizontal line equal to AR because all the units are priced at the same level. MR is a horizontal line equal to AR line. Note that MC curve cuts MR curve at two places, at point T and at point R. But T over here, MC curve is cutting MR curve from above. T is not the point of equilibrium as the second condition is not satisfied. That is, the MC curve should be rising or MC curve should cut the MR curve from below. The firm will be benefit if it goes beyond T as the additional cost of producing an additional unit is falling. So as you can see, the revenue is stagnant but the cost is falling. If the cost is falling over here, that means it is profitable to do what? It is profitable to produce more, to do more production. But from here, MC is rising, that is cost is rising. So this is the optimum point at which Q2 the firm should do production. Why? Because the cost is rising. So that is the optimum level of output. At R, the MC curve is cutting MR curve from below. Hence R is the point of equilibrium and OQ is the level of output. OQ is the level of output. I believe you understood. Just write this. For the firm, the equilibrium is OQ2 units of output at price P, since it satisfies both the conditions, that is MR equal to MC and MC cuts the MR curve from below, that is MC should be rising, that is MC should be rising. Right, next point. OQ1 units cannot be considered as equilibrium position since the second condition, that is MC cutting MR from below, is not satisfied. Is not satisfied. You can write a note also over here. As output increases from OQ1 to OQ2, marginal revenue is more than marginal cost, and there is scope of earning more profits only beyond OQ2. Marginal cost is greater than MR, which should be avoided, which should be avoided. Let us write the third point. Merely being in equilibrium, merely being in equilibrium position does not mean that the firm is making profits. The actual position of profits can be known only on the basis of AR, average revenue, and AC curves, average revenue and average cost. I believe you understood till here. Okay, so we are stopping here. We are stopping here. We'll continue further in the next class. Thank you.